Hello and welcome to another Storytime Sunday.
Today's story time is the time we found out we were pregnant when we had a 5-month baby at home.
It was kind of crazy.
To say the least, the very least.
Especially for her. I didn't know what I was in for. She did a little bit more though.
Okay, to kind of give you a timeline, when Dakota was 5 months old, we moved out of my parents' basement. I got a job as a medical assistant. So finally working in the medical field, super excited about it. Have a little baby at home. We were busy.
I was working, going to school full-time.
Full-time.
Both of them. So I was busy. She was busy.
Yeah.
Had a lot going on.
Lots going on. I had just barely finished my internship with this doctor and he had offered me a job. So I was super excited. Got to stay on and be a medical assistant for this doctor that I really liked.
Yeah, it was her perfect job. She loved it.
Perfect hours, close to home. It was awesome.
We had a good system going with Dakota. We had my mom watching him some days and her mom watching him some days when she was working.
Mm-hmm. So he was just with his grandmas.
Yeah, it was good.
And then one day I was running a pregnancy test for one of my patients, and I don't know what it was, but just as I was doing this pregnancy test, a thought came in my head of oh my heck, I think I'm pregnant. And
why did you think that? I think I'm pregnant.
Well, and I had just had a baby 5 months ago, and I was like, no, I can't be. And then I started thinking about things, and I was like, oh my heck, I really might be pregnant. I thought that because when I'm pregnant, you guys, I have crazy vivid dreams. To the point where I'll wake up panicking or bawling. Or sometimes I have to ask Cody, did this really happen or did I dream it? Because they're so realistic and vivid.
I had to get mad at her because she'd always wake up mad at me. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I didn't cheat on you. I didn't shoot anybody.
I never dreamt that you shot someone.
Or I got shot, probably.
Oh, yeah, just bad dreams. But so I had been having those dreams again, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. And then in my head, I was like, no way. I'm on birth control. There's no way. And so, but this thought kept coming, take a pregnancy test. So I went up to the front office and I asked our office manager, I said, hey, how much money would it be for me to take one of those pregnancy tests back there? She's like, nothing, just go take one.
Go do it.
And I was like, okay. And she was like, wait, because literally the week before they had just hired me. So she goes, wait, do you want it to be positive or negative? Are you trying? And I was like, no, we are not trying.
Nope.
Tiny baby, our first baby at home. And she was like, okay, well, good luck. And I was like, thanks. So ran to the bathroom, hurry, took this pregnancy test. Here I am all alone at work in this little bathroom, and it comes up immediately positive. And I was like, I think I just did this. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Panic attack sets in.
But then, you guys, I'm kind of OCD about how I am on the job. So I was like, pull it together, you're at work, hold it in, you can do this. So I just hurried and threw the pregnancy test away, went back to my desk, and I was just going through some charts, getting patients back, doing their vitals. I think Josh, the doctor that I worked for, could tell. He could tell something was up. So he came up and he goes, Kenz, what's going on? And I was like, nothing, I'm totally good. And then he asked me again and I was trying not to cry. And I was like, I'm pregnant. he was like, wait, what? And I was like, I'm pregnant. And I instantly started crying. And he's like, well, calm down. First of all, calm down.
Congrats.
And I was like, no, I can't calm down. Coda's only 5 months old. I just got this job. And he was like, come with me. Guys, he's so awesome.
He's good.
So he took me back to where they do the blood draws. And he was like, let's get some blood work on you to make 100% sure. And I was like, I'm not an idiot. I know that was you can't have a false positive on a pregnancy test. So I'm like, okay. This whole time I had texted Cody about 50 times. Call me now. And he hadn't. So I'm sitting here. Let's give you a visual. I'm sitting here in my scrubs, with my stethoscope, getting my blood drawn, bawling hysterically, with the office manager and my boss, who's a doctor, standing here trying to calm me down. My phone starts ringing and it's Cody. So I answer the phone and I go, babe, I'm pregnant.
Well, I was working at the time. I was working at a dental office making molds of dental teeth and stuff. And so that was quite a shock, in the middle of work. And my initial thought was just okay.
Well, see, and that's,
we're going to have another kid.
I think part of my panic was
what's
Cody gonna think? And like, how are we gonna afford this? How are we gonna do this? We're barely surviving as it is with one baby. Like, they're barely gonna be a year apart. And so I was just panicked. But he was so sweet, and he goes, sweetheart, that's amazing.
It's great.
And right as he said that, I was like, it is amazing. Like, this is amazing. So he calmed me down a lot, which I was grateful for.
Good.
I know.
She needs calmed down
goodness.
a lot.
But then this is going to sound really selfish, and I don't want to sound selfish. But for those of you who have had a baby, you can probably agree with this. One of my biggest concerns was my body. And I know I do not want to sound selfish.
It's not selfish wanting to heal your body after you just had birth.
I had just had a baby, and I had these big plans of getting in super good shape before I had another baby. And I did lose the pregnancy weight super fast. But awesome. I don't know. I was just panicked. Like, I'm not back to my pre-pregnancy weight. I don't want to gain more weight now on top of this. But that was a big thought for me. So they ended up sending me home from work just because I was a wreck.
You're a wreck. Go home.
Josh was like, Ken's just take the day off. Go home. And I was like, okay. But we should mention, because I did say I was on birth control, I was religiously, same time, every single day. I had an alarm that would go off. But my OB failed to mention, or I was just in La La Land and didn't hear him when he told me that he was putting me on the mini pill. So like, not as strong. And that's what you take when you're breastfeeding. Well, for some reason, I didn't hear that. So I stopped breastfeeding when I went back to work, and it was pretty much like I was taking nothing, doing nothing to prevent a pregnancy, which obviously now it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah,
like,
it worked out
so great.
Amazing. Coda and Carson are like the best friends, or the worst enemies, but for the most part, best friends.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a little rough at first. Having like a brand new 1-year-old and a newborn, woo! Our life was crazy for a minute, guys, but we would not change it. Like,
not for the world.
We fully believe that everything happens for a reason when it is supposed to. And I don't know, it was crazy, and people literally couldn't talk to me about it for like 3 weeks, or else I would just like
how am I
bust out
gonna
in
do
tears.
this? Like, it's just crazy.
But that is how we found out about Carson and how we were pregnant with him.
Yep, pretty crazy. Wouldn't change it for anything.
Nothing.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We love you.
Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yep, see ya.
Bye.
What's up?
Oh, sorry.
Barging in on our story time Sunday.
Story time.
Guess where he's going?
Hey.
He's going to take his bridals with his future wifey.
Marriage.
Marriage.
Marriage and stuff.